Hey there, sports fans. Mike Ruder coming to you from the Well in Williston as we are about 5 minutes away from this next junior college basketball game featuring Williston State coming up against the Northwest College Trappers coming in from Idaho. So the Tetons looking to get after it and continue their winning streak on the season. And they do have on the court the reigning Mondac Conference Player of the Week in one Ali Garcia. Garcia has had a fantastic start to the season, and she's looking to keep that one going as the Tetons had a bit of a stumble or two early on in the season, but they're looking to figure things out. Talking to Coach Triplett earlier, and he said this team is still looking for their identity, but hoping that there's some veteran leadership out on the court that really helps, and then with some fantastic freshmen that the Tetons are bringing to the table, they're able to wrap things up and charge on throughout this season, headed towards what is hopefully doing one game better at least than they did last year and winning the Region 13 tournament. They're back-to-back regular season champions in the Mondac Conference, but they're looking to now take home the hardware and move on to the district championship game. A tough task ahead of them in this Northwest College team. Both men and women in action tonight, so the Tetons will be looking to get 2 home wins here in front of the Williston State faithful. Teton hockey also in action. That'll be kicking off in a little bit downtown here in Williston, so it should be a fantastic one as well there. And plenty of activities here. Game sponsor for tonight's action is CVB, and it is Boys Night Out, so we have some of the Boy Scouts here in attendance. And also, they'll have the fine opportunity of camping out in the well after the game is done, so they'll be able to catch in some great basketball action, and then they'll be able to look up at the lights and the scoreboard here in the well as they camp out tonight. The Tetons come into this game with an 8-2 record overall on the season. Their last couple of wins last win came here at home. That was against Dickinson State JV. It was a 101-44 game. The Tetons took care of business early and put it to bed. And they've had several games so far this season with triple digits, but this one against Northwest maybe a little bit of a different story. The Tetons still hoping to get the win, but it'll likely be a tighter game than the 56-point advantage that they were able to see last time. Looking at the point-per-game leaders for Williston State, leading the way for the Tetons is Allison Kunze. She's averaging 14 even. Taylor Murtaugh at 13.7, Ali Garcia at 12.5, and Jersey Berg coming in at 12.7. So 2 freshmen and 2 sophomores are paving the way in scoring for the Tetons. Looking at shooting from beyond the arc, Garcia is hitting just over 2 free throws or 2 3-pointers a game. She's averaging 2.1 of the 5.4 taken. Taylor Murtaugh 1.8 out of her 5.9 taken. So the Tetons still looking to improve on their shooting from beyond the arc as they are still here a few games away, or a few dates away, as well as games away from their conference tournament kickoff, or conference play kickoff, which will happen after the new year. So the Tetons will take a peek at their schedule coming up as we have our final seconds before they have the starting lineups and national anthem here from the Well in Williston. On December 10th, it will be a non-conference game against United Tribes here in Williston. And then the 14th, neutral site versus Trinity Bible College. And then down to Arizona to finish off the 24 part of their campaign against South Mountain Community College, Phoenix College, and Chandler Gilbert Community College. Getting ready to go for the national anthems and starting lineup here from Williston as the Tetons are putting their 8-2 record on the line. Everyone's standing at attention for the national anthem. We'll step away to do the same. When we come back, we'll have the starting lineups and opening tip-off of the Teton girls basketball game. anthem presented by the Boy Scouts Color Guard as did their fantastic duty here pre-game, and now they're 10 minutes up on the scoreboard, on the American State Bank scoreboard. Now both teams getting ready to go to come out of their huddles. Tetons will be in their home white jerseys with green trim, and the Trappers in all reds with white trim and black lettering. A little bit of pregame announcements here for North Dakota and Junior College, and the Trappers now will be introduced first. Coming out of the tunnel first will be number 33, Bianca Silva, a 5'6" sophomore guard from Brazil. Next out is number 2, Tava Phillips, a 5'7" sophomore guard from Colorado Springs, Colorado. She'll be followed up by number 15, Julia Porter, a 5'6" sophomore guard from Colorado Springs, Colorado. And then number 20, Kelsey Nicholson, a 5'10" sophomore forward from Burlington, Wyoming. And rounding out the starting 5 will be Emma Peak, a 5'11" freshman guard forward from Spain. The Trappers women's basketball team is coached by Cody Hellenbolt. Now it's time for the startup for the home team on tonight's scoreboard, Williston State Tetons, as they look to try to put the pedal to the metal, and they will be coming out with a familiar 5 to start things off. It'll be starting off with a freshman, a 5'9" freshman guard from Botno, North Dakota, Kylie Simpson. Out next, one of the sophomores for Williston State, 5 10 inches tall and forward from Malta, Montana, Allison Coonsey. Out next, number 15, a 5'9" sophomore guard and reigning Mondac Conference Player of the Week is Allie Garcia. Number 13, Taylor Murtaugh, a 5'9" freshman guard out of Australia. And rounding out the starting lineup for Williston State is going to be a 5'11" freshman from Bismarck, North Dakota, and Tetons in her blood. It is number 21, Jersey Berg. Tetons women's basketball is coached by Bill Triplett, assisted by Bridger Rice and Corey Flynn. Tetons and the Trappers now ready to go before we get into this one. And a slight break of tradition here for the Tetons. No Coach Triplett out on the court until the very last second with his squad, giving them a last second play. So it's just let's get after it here. It will be Berg in the center circle for the Tetons. She'll be going up against Nicholson. So here we go. Game sponsor here is the Williston CVB. Berg versus Nicholson in the center circle. Will be tipped up a couple times. Nicholson's going to come away with it. Silva will take it across the timeline, and we are underway. Trappers get the first position. There's a steal. Here comes Coonsey up the court. She doesn't have anyone in transition, and a touch pass by Simpson is going to be thrown away. She was looking for a streaking Berg coming down the lane, but it was just a little bit too hard of a pass, and the Tetons turn it back over. 9:42 left to go. Here comes the Trappers back up the court. First touch by Porter. She swings it over onto the far wing to Phillips. Slows things down a bit, looking for a teammate to give it off to. Silva has it. Got away with a walk on the perimeter. Behind her back pass. Over to Porter. Drives. Mid-range jumper on the way. Soft off the front of the iron. Offensive rebound by Nicholson. Back come the Trappers. Here's a drive. Cut off down underneath. Nicholson flips it out into the corner. Three-pointer from Phillips. Way off. No good. Another offensive rebound. Peak's going to pick it up, and she's going to be called for a double dribble. We have a Montana officiating crew out on the court here once again this evening. Lead official will be Tim Polk. You're watched some high school basketball over the last 30 years in Montana. Very familiar with Tim and his officiating prowess. Now Garcia has the ball out of the wing for Williston State. 0-0, just about a minute into this first quarter. Berg looking down low, no one available. Flips it into Simpson in the corner. Looking down low, doubling the ball are the Trappers, and Simpson just has to throw it off of the leg of Porter. Out of bounds it goes. Williston State now with 14 on the shot clock. 8:56 left in the first on the American State Bank scoreboard. Simpson gets it into Berg. Back to Simpson, looking for Coonsey. Puts it on the deck, one dribble, long pass to Murtaugh. Three-pointer, rains it, and it goes in. Taylor Murtaugh starts up with a big three-pointer for Williston State, and they jump out to a 3-0 lead. So the Tetons strike first. Back comes the Trappers. Man-to-man defense for the Tetons. Porter has it, looking to drive. Gets up to the high elbow just inside the arc. Pass it off. Good ball moving. Here comes a drive by Phillips. Swings it back off to Porter. Porter's going to be up and in. Just about a block there. So Jalea Porter with 2 points. A 1-point game now here in Williston. Berg on the perimeter looking for help. Tetons a little bit out of sort offense with a defensive pressure in the middle of the paint to Kunze. And she's going to be fouled trying to step through a double team, getting it in the paint. That'll put now Allison Kunze to the stripe for a pair. Kunze averaging 14 points in the per game for Williston State. First personal, first team. Inbound pass goes to Berg, gets it up to Kunze, back in the corner for Murtaugh. Looking down low for Berg, gets her on the low post. Nice pass. It's going to go underneath Kunze. No good. Gets her own rebound, puts it back up, and she's going to be fouled by Porter. So 2 quick fouls by the Trappers in about 8 seconds on the clock. And that will send Kunze to the stripe for a pair. So first one on Porter. And Kunze at the line for her first of 2. First one on the way is going to rattle home and good. Puts Williston State back up by a bucket. Now 4-2, 8:04 left to go. Kunze again at the stripe. Next one. That one will rattle off. No good. 1 for 2 at the line for Kunze. As back come the Trappers up the court. Silva has it. She's going to hand the ball off in the perimeter to Peak. Porter now. Bounce pass underneath. Great pass. They go for another post-to-post pass. Porter again driving. She flies. And Porter now with 4 points in the game. Fantastic passing so far for this Trappers team. Just about thrown out of bounds by the Tetons. But Berg's able to scramble and get there. Bounce pass from Simpson over to Berg, looking for help, and she's going to put it on the deck, flips it underneath, and looking to try to flip it underneath to Kunze. She's going to pick up the foul so quickly within the first 2.5 minutes of play. That's a 3rd team foul on Northwest. Simpson set to trigger the action for the Tetons along the blocks. No one open. Simpson holding, looking, no one available. Finally up on top. She'll find Murtaugh. Back into the corner to Simpson. Thought about a shot. Going to pick up a screen from Garcia. Gives the ball back to Garcia, who takes off. Works her way through, and there's going to be a travel called on Garcia through lots of contact. So another turnover on Williston State. It's a tie game now, 4-4. 2 field goals for the Trappers, a field goal from beyond the arc, and a 3-pointer for Williston State. Silva up on top, a double high screen, gives it over to Porter. Berg leaving her room around the perimeter. Now to Peak, reverses her dribble, looking underneath for Porter, nothing there. She finds Silva. Silva looking to drive. Porter hounding that baseline, a flip pass underneath, and then Murtaugh tips it away. Here comes Garcia and the Tetons. Long pass up on top to Kunze. She gets it, gathers herself, puts it up, and in it goes. 2 more for Kunze. And she is now looking to continue her good plays. The Tetons are back up now 6-4. So Tetons back on defense. Phillips has it, working her way around, passes it back out on the perimeter to Nicholson. Over to Porter. Porter switches it back over to Peak. Silva on the near wing, picks up a screen. Silva got away with a carry there, and there's going to be a poke away by Kunze, and she's going to have her pocket picked, and Simpson's going to create the foul, and Silva gets one to go. So Silva with the hoop and the harm evens the score up at 6 apiece, and she'll have a chance to give the Trappers a 1-point lead. Here with 6:27 left to go, that foul's going to go on Simpson, her first personal, first team. Silva at the stripe for 1 of 1. That one is going to be up and good. So it's a 1-point lead by Northwest. Simpson working away back up the court. Over to Murtaugh. Double team on the ball. He gets a Garcia. She'll take off, trying to weave through traffic. Over to Simpson. Had a look. Kicks it off to Berg. Berg drives baseline. Pull up Jay. And that's going to hit off the side of the backboard. Loose ball. Berg gets it back. Drives baseline. Tries to flip it underneath the Kunze. And it's going to trickle out of bounds, but it'll stay with Williston State. Possession didn't change hands, so the Tetons will have 9 seconds on the shot clock. Here with 6:06 left to go on the American State Bank scoreboard. Simpson now from the far corner looking to get it in. Cross screen coming on the baseline. Nothing there. Murtaugh setting a screen for Kunze. Flipped up on top to Murtaugh. Back to Simpson. Had to gather it. Pass was a little bit awry. Bounce pass back to Murtaugh. Tetons still struggling offensively. Murtaugh drives. Goes for a runner. Off the back of the iron. No good. Murtaugh gets the rebound. Here comes Simpson for 3. That's off. No good. Pulled down by Silva. Silva is going to be fouled by Berg, and that'll be the second on the Tetons in the quarter. First personal on Jersey. Here with 5:50 left to go. So a little bit of Tetons still trying to get themselves sorted out on offense. Defensively, they've been playing solid in this 1.76 game. Silva will get it over to Peak. Neither team has went to the bench so far in the first 4+ minutes of action. Nicholson, high post to Silva. She'll pump fake Simpson, lose the ball down low. Gonna flip it out onto the perimeter, and there's still loose ball. So chaos on the court. Porter finally gets it. She's driving on Berg. Porter flips it up, no good. Pulled down by Coonsey. Back comes Jersey Berg up the court for Williston State. Across the timeline, over to Murtaugh. Looking down low, nothing there. Back to Berg, trying to find Coonsey. Berg's going to take off on the drive. Over to Murtaugh, baseline drive. And there's going to be a foul called on the ground. That's the 4th team foul already on this Trappers team. And here comes the first substitution of the game by either team, and it's going to be by the Trappers. It'll be on Piquet, her first personal, and she'll come out of the... We're going to have a couple subs coming out of the game. Porter will check out. Coming in is Taylor Carlson. Inbound pass to Coonsey. Little sidestep. Hook shot up and good for Coonsey. And the Tetons are back up 8-7. Up the court. Head of steam. Silva. Backdoor pass over to Phillips. She'll curl it back out. Back up on top to Piquet. Silva working away around the perimeter. Swing pass to Phillips. Down to the corner. Back it'll go again. Pushing it back up around the perimeter. Here come the Trappers. Driving, got away. No, there's going to be a travel called, an extra step on the drive. And that'll be back to Williston State with 4:48 left to go. And we will have a stoppage under 5 minutes. So we will have our first media timeout of the game. We'll be back for more Teton basketball in 1 minute.
Save on STIHL outdoor power equipment this fall at Acme Tools. Right now, save $50 on the MS250 18-inch gas chainsaw. Built for tough tasks and reliable performance. Plus, save up to $50 on a new STIHL backpack blower or blower vac and leave the raking up to the neighbors. And the expert service technicians at Acme Tools can get your hard-to-start power equipment tuned up and ready for those fall projects. Find your STIHL this fall at Acme Tools or online at acmetools.com.
Red Rock Ford is a proud supporter of Williston State College Teton Athletics and our community. At Red Rock, we encourage you to get behind our athletes, schools, and local community. Let's support our friends and neighbors as we work together to make our city a great place to live and raise our families. And when it comes time for your next vehicle purchase, see us at Red Rock Ford, where a portion of every dollar spent goes right back into the community you know and love. That's Red Rock Ford, your hometown Ford store, proudly supporting Teton Athletics.
Mike, we're back here for Teton basketball. Back come the Tetons, up by 1, 8-7, 4:45 left to go. Simpson gets it over to Murtaugh. High post to Berg, give and go back to Murtaugh. Three-pointer on the way, off the mark. Coonsey with an offensive board, and she's going to be underneath, puts it up and in. 2 more for Coonsey. She has a game-high 7, and Williston State has matched their largest lead of the game, up 10-7. 2 subs set to come back in for the Trappers. The 2 starters who were out just checked out momentarily. Silva looking to work her way around, a long pass, looking to thread the needle down underneath to Phillips. Goes awry, and back in comes a couple more. Piquet will check out. Porter coming back in. Also Phillips heading out of the game, with Nicholson checking back in. Also Silva heads to the bench for the first time, and checking in is Celine Ukak, seeing her first action. Tetons have the ball. Simpson pounding the rock. She's going to take off on drive. Gets a seam. Flips it underneath the Coonsey. Out it goes to Berg. Little shimmy to shake. Berg breaking ankles. Baseline she goes. Underneath it'll go. Murtaugh can't handle the pass. Back will go to the Trappers. Pushing it up the court is going to be Carolina Ruiz. And she's going to have the pass poked away by Berg. Three-pointer coming from Carlson. That one is going to be good. Carlson, not a fluid shot, but she knocks it down. Evens the score back up at 10. 3:45 left to go. Simpson back up the court. Bounce pass over to Berg. Berg will drive. Underneath it'll go to Coonsey. Gets it. Puts it up and in. 2 more for Allison. She has 9 of the Tetons. 12 points so far. Carolina Ruiz working away around back up the court. Ukak has it on the wing. Crossing over on Garcia behind her back. She's looking to give it off to someone. Garcia with a poke away. And Allie just about had it coming away. And they're going to say it goes back to the Trappers. Coach Triplett calling for a carry on that. It'll stay with Northwest College. 14 seconds on the shot clock. 3:20 left to go in the game. Tetons have been out with their starting 5 all quarter long so far. Ruiz swings it over to Porter. Porter one-on-one with Berg. Back up on top to Carlson. Flies again. That's going to be up and no good. Tipped out of there by Simpson. She'll get it off to Berg, who gets it off to a guard. Back to Berg from Murtaugh. Kunze on the baseline. Over to Murtaugh underneath. Flips it up and in. What a dime by Berg. Murtaugh with 2 more. She has 5. Largest lead for Williston State. 14-10. Under 3 minutes left to go in the first. Porter has it on the wing. Up on top to Nicholson. Swing pass over to Ukak. Up on top. Back to Ruiz. Good ball movement once again. Carlson waiting for something to develop for the Trappers. She'll find on top Porter again. Over to Nicholson. Underneath. Down low to Carlson. Puts it up. No good. Tipped around. And that one way off. That was altered there by Kunze being behind Carlson. And Simpson pulled down the board. Tetons looking to extend their lead. Simpson has her pocket pick. Picks up the ball. She'll put it back up the court. Maybe got away with a double dribble. Murtaugh now up on top to Berg. Looking backdoor for Garcia. Nothing there. Garcia gets it on the baseline. Fadeaway J up. No good. Simpson with the offensive rebound. She'll have to peel it back out. Murtaugh. Wide open look. That one's off the mark. No good. Berg gets the rebound. She puts it up. That one's going to be no good. Finally pulled down by the Trappers and Carlson. She'll get it off to Ruiz. Long pass. Up it'll go to Ukak. Has to try and track it down, but it'll be Murtaugh. Comes away with it. Back and forth we go. 1:50 left. Bounce pass underneath to Kunze. Can't do anything with it. And long pass over. It's going to be tipped away by Ruiz. She keeps it in bounds. 2-on-1 break. And it's going to be underneath the Porter. Great chase down by Murtaugh to knock it out of Porter's hands. And it'll be Trappers' ball, but the Tetons do avoid a run-out layup here with 1:38 left to go on the American State Bank scoreboard. Inbound play coming out underneath the Trappers' baskets. Long pass up on top. They find Porter. Porter, who has 4 points in the first quarter, will get it off to Ruiz. He'll back it out. Closing in on a minute and a half to go. Double high screen. Here comes a drive. Barrels into Berg, and Berg takes a big charge. So Jersey Berg, we've seen her already this season take several charges, planted her feet, and she was barreled into by Ruiz. And that'll be a foul and a turnover. Giving the ball back to Williston State. 1:27 left to go in the first. Back up comes Simpson up the court, the freshman. Looking to lead the charge. Murtaugh now looking for someone. She puts it on the deck. Long bounce pass over to Simpson. Picks it up. It'll be high post to Berg. Looking. Can't find anybody. She'll step through. Gets into the paint. Over to Murtaugh. Wide open again for 3. And that one just off the mark. Kunze with the rebound. Puts it back up and in. 2 more for Kunze. She's in double digits in this quarter. Up the court now, Carolina Ruiz for the Trappers. 16-10, under a minute left to go. Here comes a drive. Base bounce pass underneath. It'll careen off some feet. Porter now with a 3-pointer. That one's in and out, no good. Pulled down by Kunze, and she covers up. Back comes Murtaugh up the court. 45 seconds. Tetons can go 2 for 1. Simpson from pump fake. Got her defender up in the air. Baseline jumper off the mark. No good. Pulled down by Nicholson. Up to Porter. A 1-on-3 break by Porter. She swings it over to Carlson. Carlson up it'll go. Ukak walked into a 3-pointer. Got away with a big travel. And that 3-pointer cuts the deficit down to 3. Now 16-3. Shot clock is off. 20 seconds left to go in the first quarter. Simpson across the timeline. Over to Murtaugh. Kunze on the baseline. Looking for Berg. High post. Nothing there. Back to Murtaugh, who puts it on the deck. Baseline to Kunze. Back to Murtaugh. Murtaugh looking for help. Kunze. She'll drive. Gets a seam. Puts it up. 2 more for Allison Kunze. She has 13 of the 18 Teton points. Last second he will be late. And Williston State will take an 18-13 break heading into quarter number 2. We're going to step away for a quick 1-minute timeout. When we come back, we'll have more Teton basketball exclusively on the Williston State College YouTube page.
Legacy. It begins the moment we're born, growing with every step as we journey through life. It lives in the relationships we build along the way and in those we love. At First International Bank and Trust, our legacy is you. In every stage of life, we walk with you, making sure you get to where you're going and protecting your legacy for generations to come. First International Bank and Trust, helping you live first. Member FDIC, Equal Housing Lender.
Still in the halftime break, and time for a read for another one of the Teton sponsors. RUAC Resources is a locally owned and operated ready-mix concrete, trucking, and sand and gravel producer. From large infrastructure projects to your driveway, they can provide top-quality products with uncommon hospitality. Give them a call, 701-664-3500. In addition, if you want to join a growing dynamic team, they're looking for different positions from CDL drivers to mechanics to heavy equipment operators. Their core focus is serving others and each other. Check them out on Facebook or .com or RUAC Resources. That's RUAC Resources. Tetons have the ball coming in to start quarter number 2. Simpson on top of the perimeter. Ball fake finds Berg. Berg looking for Coonsey underneath. She gets Porter up in the air. Kicks it off to Simpson. Simpson, long pass over to Murtaugh. Wide open in the corner for Murtaugh. Three-pointer in and out. No good. That'll be pulled down. Porter has trouble handling it, but she'll pick it back up, and back come the Trapper. Long pass up on top. Garcia's going to be called for a blocking foul as Coach dribbled it all the way out on the court. Not happy with that one. Garcia had her feet planted, and I think now a couple of officials are disagreeing with that call. They're having a discussion on the court. Garcia was planted for about a minute and a half before the contact came. So still a discussion at about center court between the two officials. Now they're headed to the scorer's table to talk about it. And I think they're going to now, by the reaction from the Northwest coach, it may be reversed and be called a charge on Bianca Silva. So they're going to call a double foul. I have never seen a play like that result in that call in all of my years watching basketball, but the Trappers will get the ball off the inbound. So Garcia now picks up a foul, as does Silva. Porter has it along the perimeter, 15 on the shot clock. Up on top, it'll go. Working the wall back around. Silva has her pass stripped away by Murtaugh. Here comes a 3-on-1 break. Murtaugh bounce pass to Coonsey. Jump stop underneath. Gets through traffic, and she's going to be fouled by Nicholson. So Nicholson picks up the foul on that one. And that will send Coonsey back to the stripe. She's the only Teton who has had free throw attempts so far in the contest. All 5 starters back for both teams, and Coonsey's going to miss her first attempt. Now she's 1 for 3 from the stripe. Substitutions in and out. Silva as well as Nicholson coming out of the game. Checking in for the first time is Sydney Harris. Next one by Coonsey is up and good. That'll make it now a 19-13 game. Up the court comes the Trappers. Over to Porter on the far wing. Looking down low, nothing there. Up on top to Harris. Harris will swing it across to Phillips. Phillips back up on top. Here comes the takeoff, the drive, a flip pass underneath, taken away by Simpson and the Tetons. Simpson just about had it poked away. Coonsey's going to take the ball. The ball rolled about 35 feet down the court as the Tetons are going to be able to reset. And how that wasn't a foul on Porter, I do not know. She careened into Murtaugh. So the Tetons now will take back over, or the Trappers will take back over. Long pass on the wing over to Phillips, looking for a three-pointer. She'll take off, crossover on Garcia, got away with a forearm shiver. Simpson holding off, baseline pass, stolen away by Coonsey. She gets it off to Murtaugh with Berg streaking the court. She couldn't get a seam. Murtaugh coming up to the point, gets it off to Garcia. Garcia thought about a three-pointer. She'll take off on Phillips, keeps her foot alive, gets it back off to Berg. Berg underneath to Coonsey, all alone, up and in. Coonsey for 2 more, and Allison has 16 points in the game. Back up the court come the Trappers again. Here comes Phillips on the near wing. She's going to drive, hands it off to Porter. Porter looks to drive. She'll spin on Berg, flip one up and in. Julia Porter now with 6 points in the game, as that'll make it a 21-15 contest. Back up, high post to Berg, looking to work her way around. She'll turn around and put it up herself. Jersey Berg with the bucket, her first points of the game. Berg so deadly in the mid-range. Ukak back up the court, hands it out to Phillips, looking to take on Berg. Gets to the high post, kicks it out to Phillips. Phillips driving now on Garcia, goes for the running layup, off the mark, no good, and there's going to be a foul on Coonsey. She caught Porter on her way up for the rebound. Second team foul on the Tetons. Here with 7:41 left to go in the first half. So Coonsey just with one personal foul so far in the contest. Pass will go up on top. Piquet got loose, and they'll be off the mark, no good. Garcia will be able to get the rebound first and hit off her leg as Phillips was there as well, and into the hands of Coonsey. Back comes Simpsons for Williston State. Over to Murtaugh, bounce pass, high post Berg. She'll take off, little running jumper, in and out, no good. Coonsey can't come down to the ball. Here comes Phillips. A jump pass is going to be way too tall, and that's going to go out of bounds as Phillips couldn't track it down. A frenetic game for both teams. Neither one of them seemingly able to get on a good groove on either side. Another substitution set to come in just late. Getting to the scorer's table was Carolina Ruiz. Berg, high post. She's cut up. Back it'll go to Simpson. Simpson set up the half-court set. Back it'll go to Berg. Looking on the corner. Murtaugh again for three. Got it to go that time. Taylor Murtaugh hits her second long ball of the game. And the Tetons now up by 11 points. Long pass back to Phillips in the front court. We'll go up on top to Piquet. Back to Phillips. She'll take off on a drive. Kicks it out over to Phillips again. Three-pointer, no good. Offensive rebound by Piquet. Reverse layup up and in. Emma Piquet gets her first points on the board. Tetons still up by 9. Coach Triplett telling his squad to, hey, let's settle down. Simpson, long pass over to Garcia. Has a sky to get it back in. Up on top, it'll go to Simpson. Trappers doing a good job stretching out this Teton defense. Pull-up jumper. It's going to be up and no good by Garcia. Tipped out of bounds by Harris. And it'll stay with Williston State. 19 on the shot clock. Harris checks out of the game. Coming back in is Ruiz. Simpson set to inbound the ball to get it underneath to Coonsey. And Coonsey's going to be fouled by Porter on the way up. Third team foul in the quarter, and Coonsey again will be going to the line, her third trip. She's 2 for 4 from the stripe. Looking to get above 50% for the first time if she can knock down both of this one. Another sub set to come in for Northwestern. And the Tetons are going to their bench for the first time in the game. Coonsey's first one up is going to rattle home and be good. Now another sub set to come in for Williston State. Checking out of the game for Northwest is going to be Piquet. Next one on the way for Coonsey. That one will be good as well. So Garcia and Coonsey come out of the game for Bolito as well as Keeksta. And that 2 for 2 effort from the stripe for Coonsey will put the Tetons back up by 11, 28-17. Back up comes Ruiz. She'll work her way around the perimeter, hand the ball off over to Phillips. Waiting, looking, no one available. Back up on top, it'll go. Back to Phillips on the far wing. Carlson now, she's already knocked down one. Looking to take on Keeksa. Good defense by the post player. Bolito, a defensive stalwart for the Tetons. Once heaved up, and that's going to knock down by Ruiz. So Ruiz knocks down another triple for this Trappers team, and the lead for Williston State is down to 8, 28-20. Simpson, long pass over to Murtaugh. Murtaugh puts it on the deck, swings it over to Simpson. Baseline J, up and no good. It'll be pulled back down by Berg. Back to Simpson. She finds Bolito. Out to Murtaugh. Another three. Got it to go. Taylor Murtaugh with her third triple of the game. 31-20. Back out to a double-digit 11-point lead. 5:28 left to go in the second quarter. Ruiz on the wing, looking to get it up over to Phillips. She has to force it over there. And it's going to be taken away by the Tetons. Long pass goes to Bolito. She's going to lay out, puts it up, hoop, and the hard Bolito does the dirty work all game long. Offense, defense, everything. And she'll get her first bucket of the game. It'll be another foul on the Trappers. Coming out of the game will be Phillips. Elsie Swan checking in for the first time. As well as coming out is going to be Ruiz, and checking in Ashlyn Wright. Bolito at the stripe, looking to get the hoop and the harm. Her one and only shot is going to be up and good. Another substitution coming in, couple of subs coming in now. is out of the game is going Carlson. Checking in for her first entrance is Bella Yates. And Jersey Berg now will get a short break on the bench. Coming back in will be Allison Coonsey. This quick combo guard forward oriented Trapper team has kept a lot of the bigs off the court for the Tetons. It'll be Ukak getting away with a push-off against Simpson. Wright has it on top of the perimeter. Looking to take on against Murtaugh. She has to force a pass over to Ukak. Looking down underneath. And that pass is going to be intercepted by Bolito. Off to the races. Long pass up to Simpson. Had a Coonsey going, but in transition. Three-pointer, no good. And it'll be tracked down off the fingertips of Ukak. And it'll stay with Williston State. 17 seconds left to go. And we have hit the under 5-minute timeout mark in quarter number 2. We now have another ad read for one of our sponsors here for Teton Athletics. Western Cooperative Credit Union is your local credit union, which means they're a non-for-profit financial institution owned by you. WCCU has been serving Williston for many years and is proud of the difference they have made in the community. They are there when you need them, from home, ag, auto loans to checking and savings accounts. So join the herd at WCCU.org.
Save on STIHL outdoor power equipment this fall at Acme Tools. Right now, save $50 on the MS250 18-inch gas chainsaw, built for tough tasks and reliable performance. Plus, save up to $50 on a new STIHL backpack blower or blower vac and leave the raking up to the neighbors. And the expert service technicians at Acme Tools can get your hard-to-start power equipment tuned up and ready for those fall projects. Find your STIHL this fall at Acme Tools or online at acmetools.com.
Mike Ritter back here for Teton basketball, exclusively on the Williston State College YouTube page. Tetons have a 14-point lead, 34-20. Simpson long pass up on top to Keeksta. Keeksta looking for her help. She'll hand it back off to Simpson on the point. 14 on the shot clock. Over to Bolito looking for Keeksta. Bounce on the baseline. Good pump fake. Back to Bolito. Takes off on the drive. Little running jumper. And there's going to be a foul and 2 shots coming for Bolito. That may be on Porter. And it'll be called it on Swan. 15 foul for personal on Swan. And Bolito will go back to the stripe for a pair. She's 1 for 1 from the line so far. 3 points in the game. Garcia said to check in. As Bolito knocks down the first of 2, she'll come in for Murtaugh, who will get her first break of the game. Back at the line is Bolito. Puts one up. That one will rattle home as well. 2 for 2, that trip. And now the Tetons up 16 points, 36-20. Back up the court comes Ukak. Guarded by Garcia. Picks up her dribble, looking on the baseline. Swan gets it. She'll be pulled back out by Simpson. Up on top, it'll go to Yates. Yates will get it back off to Ukak. Surveying, looking, no one open. Tetons locking down on defense. Up it'll go to Porter. Porter this time guarded by Coonsey. Now to be Keeksta guarding Yates on the point. Ukak pulls the trigger in front of Garcia. That's not going to hit anything, and it'll go out of bounds. The air ball will give the ball back to the Tetons. 4:07 left to go on the American State Bank scoreboard here in the second quarter. Simpson, who's played all 16 minutes of this half, works her way back up the court for Williston State. Simpson over to Bolito. Over to Garcia in the corner. Back up to Bolito. Pump fake. Back to Simpson. High pass, and it's going to be tipped out of bounds by Yates. So a good recovery by Yates, and they're going to say the deflection hit off of Yates and then off of the fingertips of Garcia. As there's another substitution, Ukak checks out of the game, and coming back in is going to be Bianca Silva. Silva working her way up the court. Hands it off to Porter. Porter looking back door. Going to find Wright underneath. Nothing there. Back to Porter. Looking to drive on Coonsey. A great pass underneath the Swan. Didn't have an angle. She has to dribble through. Back up on top to Porter. 12 on the shot clock. Wright crossing over on Simpson. She'll hand it off to Silva. Kicks it back out on top to Porter. Mid-range jumper from the charity stripe. No good. Pulled down by Garcia, who looks to run the court. No number, so she'll slow things down. She crosses the timeline at 3:20. Simpson in the near wing. Takes one dribble. Baseline. Keeksta. She'll step through, looks to throw it up, no good. It'll be pulled down by Yates, and back come the Trappers. Pick to pocket, here's Garcia with a finger roll, up and in. Allie Garcia gets her first points of the game. She's not hitting on offense, she'll get it done on defense, and she does as Jersey Berg now to the scores table, set to come back in. Murtaugh and Berg now back at the table. Long pass over in the corner to right. She'll fire from range. That one's off the mark. No good. It'll be tipped away from Bolito. And they're going to say it is off of Bolito. It'll stay with the Trappers. Coming out of the game will be Keeksta and Bolito. Back in will be Berg as well as Murtaugh. Tetons now with an 18-point lead. 38-20. 2:48 left to go in the second. Pass going to go underneath, and just about an uncontested pass to Elise Swan. It puts it up and in 4-2. 38-22. Simpson back up the court. Looking to attack the 2-1-2 zone. Simpson on top again. Redirects. Back over to Murtaugh. High post, go to Berg. Looking down low, nothing there. Berg looking to drive baseline. Cut off by Porter. She'll peel back out to the perimeter. Up on top to Murtaugh. Murtaugh, bounce pass over to Simpson. 5 on the shot clock. Simpson looking to drive baseline. She'll pull up for the mid-range herself. No good. Tipped away by Berg. Garcia gets the board. Looking to get it underneath to Coonsey. And Coonsey's going to be absolutely hammered, but they're going to say clean on the block by a pair of Trappers. Both Yates and Silva there on the play. 15 on the shot clock after the miss and the offensive rebound. Simpson again looking to trigger. Up on top, it'll go to Murtaugh. Back to Simpson in the wing. Gets her player up in the air. There's Berg. Gets hit on the wrist and gets it a go from the elbow. So Jersey Berg with 2 more. She now has 4, the chance for 5. And if she can knock it down, the Tetons could go up by 19 here with just 2:04 left to go. Tia Conradson set to check in for Williston State. So Conradson going to be coming in for Simpson. Tia gets her first play here in this contest. Berg at the line for one shot to try to complete the 3-point play. That one will be good. Jersey now with 5 points in the half as the Tetons now extend their lead 41-22. Silva marching back up the court for the Trappers. She'll hand it off to Porter. Works her way around. Gives the ball over to Swan. Swan guarded by Murtaugh. Nice pass. And there's going to be a travel called on right after the nice shovel pass. Another substitution. Yates will check out of the game. Coming back in is Carlson. Also Wright checking out with Phillips coming back in. Back up the court comes Williston State. Murtaugh taking over at point guard. Connerton playing an off guard now. High post to Berg. Hounded by Phillips. A little bit of hand checking. Berg will drive. Fit away jumper up and in. So smooth from that mid-range is Jersey Berg. Tetons now up 21. Back on the drive. Here comes Silva trying to go coast to coast, and she's going to be called for the travel. And she lets out a scream at an official who had his back turned, so she was lucky she didn't pick that one up. Her second charge of the game. And she'll come out of the game with Ruiz checking back in. So the coach for this Trappers squad not happy, telling his team, hey, we need to get on the same page. Murtaugh working her way up the court, being hounded up by Phillips. Over go to Berg, hands it back off to Phillips, puts it back on the deck. Swing pass over to Berg. She had a great range to go and grab it. A little confusion by the Tetons. Conradson gets it on the wing. 3-pointer from Tia, off the mark, no good. Murtaugh gets it underneath to Coonsey, who's trying to muscle her way through, and she's going to be tied up with Phillips. It'll be a jump ball that'll stay with the Tetons. 1:09 left to go in the second. Tetons inbounding from underneath their own basket. Murtaugh set to trigger, looking for Garcia. Had a seam, gets it to Garcia in the mid-range. Spin move, puts it up and in. 2 more for Garcia. She has 4 points. Tetons have been living in the paint in this second quarter. Back up the court comes Ruiz. Hands it. No, she's going to take it herself. Garcia with a good defense there. Blocks her from the baseline drive. Ruiz now hounded. Gets it up on top to Swan. Looking to break down on Murtaugh. Up to Phillips. He'll settle back down for the Trapper squad. Crosses over on Conradson. Pass over to Porter. Porter is going to be fouled by Conradson, who is trying to deny the drive along the elbows. So Tia will pick up her first personal, third team foul for Williston State. 40 seconds left to go. That'll put 20 seconds back on the shot clock. Inbound play coming. Phillips gets it on top, over to Ruiz. Ruiz looking for the double high screen. Garcia fights her way around it. A drive, flip, over on top to Carlson. Carlson with a mid-range jumper. No good. Garcia skies to get it. She's going to have it swiped away from her by Swan. And it'll be one last look at the bucket. Pass underneath to Carlson. And she's going to be fouled by Coonsey. That'll be the fourth team foul, second personal on Allison here with 21.9 left to go in the half. And that'll bring back in Keeksta for Coonsey. And that will just be purely to avoid Coonsey picking up a ticky-tack third foul in the waning 21.9 seconds. Pass will go up on to the wing. Porter, no good. Garcia with the rebound. She'll slow things down, gets it off to Murtaugh. 15 seconds left to go. Tetons will hold for the last shot. Murtaugh drives, hands it off over to Conradson. Up on top to Berg. Berg with 8 seconds, looking to drive. She gets down underneath, over to Garcia. Just about lost it out of bounds. She's going to throw it off a defender. It'll stay with the Tetons. 1 second left on the clock. So we'll have to see what Coach Triplett has in store for the last second heave. And there's going to be a quick second substitution coming in there for the Trappers. Now 2 subs coming in. Out of the game is going Porter. Coming in for her is going to be Harris. And also Carlson coming out of the game, with Yates checking back in for the final 1.0 on the clock. 3 low, 1 high look for the Tetons. They'll need a catch and a heave. They get it to Garcia. Garcia's not going to be able to get a shot up, and that'll be the end of the first half. Williston State with a 45-22 lead heading into halftime. We're going to take a break here from Williston. When we come back, we'll have the halftime breakdown. You're listening to Teton Basketball exclusively all season long on the Williston State YouTube. We'll be back in a few minutes.
We call for basket on Williston Convention Visitors Bureau. Ticket number 560 2997. 5602997. If you have that ticket, bring it to the scores table. You want a basket. From tonight's game sponsor, Williston Convention Visitors Bureau.
Mike Ruier, we are at halftime of the Tetons game against the Northwest College Trappers, and the Tetons have a 23-point lead at the break, 45-22. We have about 2.5 minutes left before we get underway for the start of the second, although neither team on the court as of yet. I was heading down to the scorers table and walking by the Trappers bench, and first thing that came out of their head coach's mouth when I walked by with Coach Hellenbolt was asking how many offensive rebounds the Tetons had in that first half. Well, the answer was 11, as they're a plus 10 in the rebound margin, but we're getting a little bit ahead of ourselves. We'll start off with the scoring, and Northwest College and the Trappers, 22 points in the first half. They're led in scoring by Jayla Porter, who has 6 points at the break. 4 points come in from Emma Piquet, 3 points in each from Bianca Silva, Celine Ukak, Taylor Carlson, and Carolina Ruiz. Looking at the rebounding for this Northwest College squad, they have 9 rebounds at halftime, 6 defensive, 3 offensive rebounds. Leading the way is Porter. She has 3 rebounds, all on the defensive end. shooting for the first half for this Trappers squad. They shot 45% in the first quarter from the field, 40% from beyond the arc, and 1 of 1 from the line. In the second quarter, they cooled off, 4 of 12 from the field, just 1 of 6 from deep, and no free throws taken. Overall in the game, they are in the first half, they're 9 of 23 from the field for 39%, 3 of 11 from beyond the arc for 27%, and just 1 of 1 from the stripe. As a team, they had 4 steals, 4 assists, 1 block, and 17 turnovers to go along with 13 personal fouls. Leading the way in personal fouls is Silva. She has 3 at halftime, 2 each from Nicholson, Porter, and Paquet. Over for Williston State, led in scoring by Allison Kunze, who has a huge 18 points at the break. Taylor Murtaugh, who caught fire from beyond the arc, has 11. 7 coming in from Jersey Berg, 5 in from Lucia Bolito, and 4 in from Ali Garcia. In the first quarter, the Tetons shot 44% from the field, 20% from beyond the arc, and 50% from the stripe. In the second quarter, they heated up from the field. They shot 50%, going 9 of 18 from the field overall, 2 of 5 from deep, and 7 of 8 from the line. Overall, in the half, they shot 47%, going 17 of 36, 3 of 10 from deep for 30%, and 8 of 10 from the line. The Tetons have 19 total rebounds, 8 defensive, 11 offensive. Leading the way in rebounding for Williston State is Kunze. Allison has 2 defensive, 4 offensive rebounds. The Tetons have 7 assists, 10 steals, no blocks as of yet, only 8 turnovers, 5 personal fouls. Kunze, the only player with more than 1, she's sitting at 2. Looking at some of the advanced stats, points in the paint, Tetons 22-12, points off of turnovers, 26-6 in favor of the Tetons. Second chance points, 10-2 in favor of Williston State. Bench points is one of the ones where the Trappers have the advantage, 9-5. The Tetons have only went 8 deep so far. There's 3 ties, 2 lead changes. The largest lead for the Trappers was 1 at 6:28 left in the first, and the Tetons had a lead of 23, which they currently sit at. Now it will be Trappers ball here to start off this second half. Get it up on top of the perimeter, over, working their way around the Porter. Now, still some good ball movement. Find it back to Porter from Nicholson. Berg doing a good job. Gonna hand it off. Post-to-post pass is going to be tipped away, and Simpson they're going to call it out of bounds on Nicholson. Give it back to Williston State, and the coach for the Trappers not happy with that call, as the Tetons will take over for their first possession of the half. Garcia gets the inbound pass. Back to Berg, who works her way up the court on Silva. Across the timeline, 9:38 left to go in the third quarter on the American State Bank scoreboard. Now Murtaugh away from the perimeter. She drives to Kunze, tries to find an angle, gets to the elbow. Now to Berg. Berg is going to be whistled for the offensive foul. Dipped her shoulder down a little bit, and that'll be her second. Taking a look at her second personal, first team in the third quarter. So Berg now picking up her second personal on the charge, gives the ball back to the Trappers. Porter on the wing, back up on top to Silva, who takes up a screen from Nicholson, drives, going to lay it up and in over the top of Murtaugh. Silva with the 2 points, and there's going to be an inbound violation on the Tetons, as a timeout's going to be called by Coach Triplett and Williston State. He wants to make sure his team is locked back in before this now 21-point lead shrinks away. Not happy with how his squad came out here to start. How his team came out to start this second half. We'll take a quick timeout ourselves. We'll be back in 1 minute.
Red Rock Ford is a proud supporter of Williston State College Teton Athletics and our community. At Red Rock, we encourage you to get behind our athletes, schools, and local community. Let's support our friends and neighbors as we work together to make our city a great place to live and raise our families. And when it comes time for your next vehicle purchase, see us at Red Rock Ford, where a portion of every dollar spent goes right back into the community you know and love. That's Red Rock Ford, your hometown Ford store, proudly supporting Teton Athletics.
Mike Ritter back here for Teton basketball, exclusively on the Williston State Tetons YouTube page. The Trappers of Northwest College have the ball as the Tetons looking to right the ship after a sloppy start to this third quarter. Inbound play coming for the Trappers. Looking underneath. Nothing there. They get it out to Piquet. On top, it'll go to Porter. Back now, Silva on the drive, and she's going to be called for the travel, as that'll be back-to-back turnovers here on in the game. So Williston State now looking to see if they can get a good offensive look, as the Trappers will go to full court press. Inbound pass goes to Garcia. She'll be hounded by Porter. Garcia driving. She gets a half step and gets across the timeline. She'll cross over. Now looking to drive again. Gets into the paint. Long pass over to Murtaugh. Into the corner to Simpson. Simpson with a baseline drive. She's cut off. Looking for help. Flips it up, and Simpson will be called for the double dribble. Just lost a handle on the ball before she could flip it off to Jerseyburg. And that'll be another turnover. 3 turnovers in 3 consecutive possessions for the Tetons. And back comes Silva and this Trappers squad. High post screen. Silva now cut off on the baseline drive by Murtaugh. Swing pass up on top to Phillips. Into the corner to go to Piquet. Back up on top to Nicholson. Now to Porter. Porter looking to drive. Cut off by Coonsey. Up to Piquet. Piquet looking to drive. Being hounded by Simpson. Throws it off the backboard. No one home. Garcia with the rebound. Looking to push the issue. Gets it off to Murtaugh on the near wing. Back to Garcia. Garcia from range for 3 off the mark. No good. Off the hands of Porter. And it'll stay with Williston State. So the Tetons get a break there and avoid handing it right back to the Trappers without getting anything to show for it. Tetons now looking to inbound underneath their own basket. Simpson had Garcia wide open. Porter was able to close as Simpson couldn't quite see Garcia. Berg now driving. She gets just inside the perimeter, and she's going to be fouled by number 33, Bianca Silva, who will pick up her 4th personal foul. Reached in on the ball and got a bunch of wrist. So Silva will come out of the game, and checking in will be Ukak for the Trappers. Simpson set to inbound from in front of the scorer's bench. On top, it'll go to Murtaugh. Back to Simpson. Swings it up on top to Berg, looking for someone down low, nothing there. Backdoor pass to Murtaugh, all alone, up, no good. Coonsey with the board. She's going to rip it free, and there's going to be a jump ball called underneath. Coonsey tried to wrestle it away from Phillips as Murtaugh missed the point-blank look. It'll stay with Williston State. 18 seconds on the shot clock after it hit the rim and refreshed. Simpson looking backdoor for Berg. Nothing there. On top, it'll be tipped away from Murtaugh. One-on-one up the court with Piquet. Piquet is going to flip it up, and she'll be fouled by Murtaugh. Murtaugh confused, looking around. Didn't think she was a foul. Coach Triplett didn't think there was one either. Bolito's going to check into the game now for Williston State. A quick substitution, as Coach Triplett has already used 1 timeout in the half at the 7:51 mark of the third quarter. That puts Emma Piquet at the line for the 2-shot bonus. First one is going to be up and good. Coming out of the game will be Simpson. Coming in is Bolito. So Coach Triplett having some words with his freshman point guard. Next shot on the way from Piquet. That one is up and good. 2 for 2. The trip to the line. Inbound play goes to Murtaugh. Looking to work her way up the court. Gets it to Berg. Berg over to Bolito. On the far post. Underneath. Coonsey puts it up and in. Coonsey. 2 more in the game, as she is close to a 20-point outing. Long pass onto the wing. Bolito a little too gamble on the defense. And there's going to be a foul called on the drive. And that's going to send Tava Phillips to the stripe, as the Tetons pick up another foul so far in the quarter, their 3rd team foul. So a couple of shots coming now for Phillips, 47-26. Phillips at the line for her first one, and that one is good. So 3 straight free throws for this Trappers squad have chipped the lead down to 20 points, 47-27. Still 17:32 left to go in the game, 7:32 left to go in the quarter. Second one from Phillips is good as well. Tetons looking to deal with more full court press. Murtaugh gets the inbound pass. She finds Bolito. He'll have to put it on the deck. Gets it back over to Murtaugh. Looking to hustle. 4 seconds, and there's going to be a reach and foul on Piquet, as Piquet picks up the foul for the Trappers. That's her 3rd personal, so some foul trouble starting to mount for this Trappers squad. Fresh 30 on the shot clock now with that foul happening in the backcourt. Pass will go to Murtaugh. Will cross over on Phillips. Murtaugh's going to be pushed. She's going to take a big push from behind, and Murtaugh's going to be called for the travel A ludicrous call out on the court as now the Tetons give the ball back over. Coach Triplett staring daggers at the officials as back of the court comes Ukak for the Trappers. Crosses over on Garcia. Picks up a screen. Into the corner. It'll go over to Porter. Up on top. Swing the ball around. Back to Phillips on the far wing. Another screen coming. Phillips loses the handle on the ball. Get it off to Nicholson. Nicholson back to Porter. Porter gets to the elbow. Picks it up on top to Paquet. Paquet over to Phillips. Looking for the baseline drive. And Shilby get a good step. And Phillips with two more. That'll make it a 17-point game now. 47-30. Berg bringing the ball up the court. She'll get across the timeline against Porter. Now over to Murtaugh. Hands it off to Kunze. Kunze with the baseline drive. She's going to use her body to block out the defender and pick up and draw the foul. That'll be, see who it's on. It'll be on Nicholson. And Nicholson now with a third personal foul. So fouls continuing to mount as that'll put Kunze at the line for a pair. First one is going to be up and good. Kunze up to 20 points in the game with one more free throw coming. Next one on the way, and that one is good. Allison 2 for 2, that trip to the line. Tetons back up by 19, 49-30. Sub at the bench for the Trappers. Ukak has it on top of the perimeter to Phillips. Looking down low for Paquet. Couldn't find her. Back up on top to Ukak. Looks to hand the ball off back to Phillips. Being hounded by Bolito. Crosses over a couple times. Lose the ball in the paint. Picked up by Murtaugh. Swing pass over to Berg. Berg bounce pass to Garcia. Gets it on the low post. Little turnaround. One-footed jumper. No good. Bolito with the offensive rebound. Takes a bump up on top to Garcia. Little foot fake. Over to go to Murtaugh. Tetons high post to Berg. Backing down on the opponent. Flips it underneath to Kunze. And she's going to put it up. That's going to be no good. As the Trappers get the rebound, take back up. Just about a miraculous play. Three-pointer by Paquet. That's not going to be any good. Out of the hands of the rebounder. Bolito will pull it down. And back comes Murtaugh, racing down the court. Over to Garcia. Open look for three. In and out. Garcia, she can't find the range here today. Off shooting night for Alley. As again, the Trappers push it up the court. Closing in on 5.5 left to go in the third quarter on the American State Bank scoreboard. Porter on the far wing, picks up a high screen, looking to drive, has her pocket picked by Kunze. One-on-one break, Porter behind her, Kunze driving, spins, and she's going to be stopped underneath, and there's going to be a jump ball called in the middle of the paint, and that'll give the ball back to the Trappers with a trio of subs set to come in. So substitutions in and out for both squads. Backup will come Northwest as it'll be Ruiz working it up the court after the jump ball. He'll back down on Bolito. Now on Garcia. Garcia had tipped it out of her hands, but Ruiz able to get control underneath. It'll go. It'll be Ukak up, no good. It'll be a pull down on the rebound by Kunze. Takes a bump and she'll able to get it off to Murtaugh. Back of the court comes Taylor Murtaugh. Bounce pass over to Bolito on the far wing, looking down low for Kunze. Nothing there. A good swing through, finds Garcia underneath. Alley puts it up and in. Alley Garcia now with 6 points. Tetons back up by 21, 51-30. 4:47 left to go in the third. Ruiz surveying options. Long pass into the corner. Three-pointer on the way, and that one's going to be off the mark. No good. Pulled down by Berg. Three-pointer from the corner came in from Swan. Murtaugh doing some fancy dribbling, gets into the paint. She's going to be cut off, gets free, taken to the ground, and there's going to be a scramble for the ball. Alternating arrow will keep it with the Tetons as Murtaugh's helped up by a couple of teammates. So 4:25 mark. We should have a media timeout. None coming, so they might just say play on. Murtaugh now surveying. Looking for help. No one open. And she's going to flip it up. There's going to be a 5-second call as Bolito and Garcia ran into each other. So another turnover for the Tetons. They've been turnover plagued here in this third quarter. 51-30. That'll be Ruiz bringing it back up the court. Ukak was open on the wing. Berg closing out. Ukak throws one up from range. Off the mark. No good. Garcia with the board. Tetons looking to run. It'll be a 4-on-3 break. Bolito flips it underneath to Berg, who puts it up. What a dime by Bolito to Jersey, who has 2 more points and now up to 9. Tetons looking to lock down defensively. Ruiz up the court. She'll swing it over to Phillips into the corner. Now over to Swan. Swan being hounded by Garcia. Good cutoff on the baseline drive. Back up on top to Phillips. To Ruiz. Looking for Ukek on the wing. They're letting her get an open look. Ruiz straight away three-pointer. That's off the mark, no good. Underneath it'll go. A flip shot up. That's not good off of Phillips. Berg with the rebound. Gets it off to Garcia, who marches it back up the court. Garcia takes off, beat her defender, and she'll get into the paint. Looks to draw the contact. Nothing called. Garcia was looking for an and one. And Ruiz now up to Phillips on the wing. Into the corner. It'll go to Swan. She'll kick it back out. Carlson for a long three-pointer. That's going to be up and good. Carlson knocks down her second three-pointer of the game. That'll make it now a 20-point contest, 53-33 on the American State Bank scoreboard. Murtaugh driving. She's going to go, and there's going to be contact called. And they're going to call that another charge. So we may be in the territory of setting a record for the charges played in the well here. So Murtaugh now in some foul trouble for Williston State. She picked up 2 fouls already in the quarter. Back up the court for the Trappers. It's going to come Ruiz. Looking, she'll swing it over along the perimeter. Back up to Ruiz. She'll get it. It'll be back onto the outside. Three-pointer coming from right. That one's not going to hit anything. It'll be 2 shots coming, as that is a Coonsey foul, picking up the 5th team foul. So Coonsey picks up her 3rd personal with 2:56 left to go. That sends Jayla Porter to the line for a pair. Porter at the stripe for her first of 2. That one is going to be up and good. Porter now with 7 points in the game. She'll have one more coming. Porter readies herself from the charity stripe. Here comes 2 of 2. That one will be up and good. Perfect trip to the line by Porter. 53-35. Back up the court comes Murtaugh. Off like a start. Up on top to Berg. Hands it off to Garcia. Looking for action. Gets it underneath to Berg. And Berg is going to be knocked down as she was trying to get the jump pass. Back up the court comes Wright. Wright weaving through traffic. She'll kick it off to Swan. Swings it over to Ruiz. Loses it, but saves it from going out of bounds. And the Trappers will reset up. Looking to continue to try and chip away at the Teton lead. Wright will pull it back out. Looking to hand it off again to Swan. Swan swing pass over to Porter. Porter into the corner. Ruiz for a corner 3. That's going to be off. Pulled down by Bolito. Bolito weaving through a 4-on-2 break over to Garcia along the perimeter. She's going to be hounded, trying to get it out, and there's going to be a foul called. Got a bump from a defender. And that will be now into the double bonus for the Tetons. As Simpson to the charity stripe to check back in. Simpson come into the game for Murtaugh. No, they're going to change it up, and Simpson will be in for Bolito. As they say, that's just the 4th team foul. Bounce pass underneath on Berg. Tiptoes, flips it over to Murtaugh. Bounce pass low post to Coonsey. Coonsey is going to be double teamed, and she's going to be fouled underneath. That one will be either on Ruiz or Swan. It'll be on Ruiz, who picks up another foul, and that will send now Allison Coonsey to the stripe. Just the 2nd personal on Carolina Ruiz. That'll send Coonsey to the line for a pair. Allison at the stripe. First one will be up and good. Lead back up to 19 for the Tetons. 54-35. 2:08 left to go in this 3rd quarter. Coach Triplett giving instructions to his 2 guards. The next one up and good for Coonsey as well. Stole underneath by Simpson. She's going to throw it up. No good. Garcia with the putback up and in. No, Garcia. Got to go. Now the Tetons going on some full court press. Ruiz trying to weave her way through traffic. Has a player down low. Here on the drive is Swan. And Swan's going to be whistled for the travel. Stutter step. She had Carlson on the opposite post. Could have gotten it off too. But instead it'll be a turnover and give the ball back to Williston State. Inbound play now coming for the Tetons. Both teams going for full court press. Simpson's going to race up the court. Going to beat a couple of defenders. Murtaugh gets it in the corner. Baseline drive for Murtaugh. She'll float it up and into more for Taylor Murtaugh, who has 13. More full court press for the Tetons. Ruiz weaving through traffic. She beats the defenders again. They're going to get underneath her right, who lays it up and in. So a run out on after the full court press was beat. That'll be gets the ball into Murtaugh. Back to Berg. Berg races up. Pulls up on the running jumper. Jersey Berg in transition for two from the charity stripe. 61-37. And Porter's going to be fouled by Berg as she was going to be off to the races. As this speed of this game has really picked up. 1:17 left to go in the third quarter. Keeksa set to come back in the game for Williston State as she heads to the scorer's bench. Porter at the line. She has 8 points, a team high. Jayla Porter at the stripe for her first of two. And that one is going to be up and good. Now a second Teton is coming into this bench. Bolito back in for Murtaugh, and Berg coming out with Keeksa checking in. Now it's time for a substitution from the Trappers. Wright is checking out of the game, and coming back in is Sydney Harris. A little more post defense. We see Murtaugh getting a tape job on her left hand as she's over at the bench for the Tetons. Porter at the line for her second of two. That one is going to be on the way, and it's good. Very good free throw shooting Trappers team. As Keeksa now gets her feet tangled up with the Trapper player, hits the deck. She gets back up. Simpson swing pass over to Bolito. Looking down low, no one there. Garcia driving. She's going to kick it back out to Keeksa. Up on top to Bolito. She takes off on the defender. She'll go up, and that'll fall in for Bolito, who has 7. 63-39. Back comes Ruiz with a head of steam for Northwest. She's going to weave through. She'll bounce pass onto the perimeter to Swan. Swan gets Bolito on skates. A rainbow three-pointer, no good. It'll be off the arms of Harris and out of bounds. And we'll see Angie Kaloff coming into the game for the first time for Williston State. She'll check in for Allison Coonsey. Full court press again for the Trappers as they have another sub set to check in. And it will be Porter getting a break. So many players for both teams log some heavy minutes. Sienna Fuller checking in her first time into the game. Garcia set to enter, set to trigger the inbound pass. They get it into Bolito. Bolito being worked on by Ruiz. She takes off, gets across the timeline, crosses over, and the Tetons will be able to set up in the half court. On top to Garcia, to the top of the perimeter, looking to drive. She's going to be whistled for the travel, and Coach Triplett says, hey, there was a bump there. So again, that'll be another turnover on the Tetons. 30 seconds left to go in quarter number 3. Ruiz back to the top of the perimeter. She'll hand it off to Fuller. Fuller for 3. That one's going to be off the mark, no good. Kaloff pulls down the board, gets her first touch as Simpson races up the court for the Tetons. Over to Garcia on the wing. She'll slow things down and pull it back out. Wisely salting some time off the clock here in the third quarter. 10 seconds left to go. Simpson picking up a double high screen from Keeksa and Kaloff. Up on top to Kaloff, who puts her head down and drives. She'll go with a little hook, and and it's going to be Keeksa, gets fouled, and she'll head to the line with 3.7 left to go in quarter number 3. So Harris will pick up her first personal. And that'll send Dizanifra Keeksa to the line for 2. First one is up, and that one will be good. So the Tetons now pull back any rebounders, and they'll just have 4 defenders. After the inbound pass, 3.7 seconds to defend a last heave. Keeks at the stripe for her second of 2, and that one will be good. Ruiz gets the inbound pass, works it up, gets to the timeline. 1 second left. She's going to heave it up at the buzzer. Off the backboard, no good. And the Tetons, 65-39, entering the fourth quarter. We're going to step away for a quick 1-minute timeout. When we come back, we'll have the start of quarter number 4 here from Williston.
At American State Bank and Trust Company, we're more than just your local bank. We're your neighbors. We understand your financial needs because we call this community home too. Our commitment to you means personalized service, tailored solutions, and a friendly face every time you walk through the door. Discover the difference of banking with someone who truly cares and go beyond with American State Bank and Trust Company, where community comes first. Stop in or visit asbt.com today. Member FDIC, Equal Housing Lender.
Mike Ritter back here for Teton basketball on the Williston State College YouTube page. Trappers on offense. Looking to swing the ball back around. Up on top, it'll go to Silva. In the corner, three-pointer on the way. Off the mark, no good. Tipped around. It'll be pulled down by Porter. Here comes a drive again by Silva. She loses the handle. Tipped around by Garcia. Garcia with the steal for the Tetons. Looking for help. Up it'll go to Berg. Berg pushes it up the court to Murtaugh. Murtaugh driving, bounce pass to Coonsey underneath, and that'll be up and in. Silva on defense, but she couldn't do anything with 4 fouls, so she had to concede the bucket. As back comes the Trappers after the Tetons now have ballooned their lead out to 28 points, and there's another turnover with Coonsey picking it up. She'll get it off to Murtaugh. Pushes it back up the court for Williston State. Murtaugh, high post to Berg. Berg hands it off to Simpson. Little running floater, up no good. Tipped around. Offensive rebound by Berg and the Tetons to the high post. Backdoor pass to Garcia. In traffic, Garcia flips one up, no good. And it'll be a rebound coming down for the Trappers. Porter racing up the court. She'll get inside the perimeter. Kick it off to Silva. Silva, long pass will go onto the perimeter. Now down to Paquet. Paquet back to Silva. Looking to drive. Gets her way through. The stumble, but somehow got it up and in. Tough shot by Silva, 67-41. 8:30 left to go in the contest. Garcia working away back up the court. Hands it off to Murtaugh, who's back in with that taped-up wrist. Three-pointer for Murtaugh. They lost her in transition, and that's going to be off the fingertips of the defender and out of bounds. Nicholson couldn't grab the ball, and it'll stay with the Tetons. Tetons inbound, they get it up on top to Simpson. Simpson backing down on the defender, now over to Berg, back to Simpson. She'll take off on a baseline drive, turned away by a defender, up to Coonsey. Coonsey looking down low, waiting. She'll take off, kick it back out to Simpson. High post to Berg, tipped away by Porter, could have been a foul. Over to Garcia, 3 on the shot clock. Garcia driving, gonna flip it up, no good. It'll be pulled down by Nicholson. Nicholson gets it off to Silva, looking to push the tempo. Gets into the paint, looking to drive. Back out over to Phillips. Phillips 3. That's going to be no good. Pulled down by Porter with the offensive rebound. Mid-range jumper up and good. 2 more for Porter. She has 12 in the game. As back comes up the Tetons now as they look to try to push this one back out. Murtaugh behind the back dribble, getting it away from Paquet. She'll go, picks up her dribble, over to go to Simpson. Simpson gets in the paint, flips it up to Murtaugh, catch and shoot 3. Off the mark, no good. It'll be ripped down by Silva as she again looks to force it up the court. And it's going to be Garcia there handling her. Pass underneath. It'll go, kicks out onto the perimeter. Up on top now, Phillips. Extra pass over to Porter. Porter for 3. In and out, no good. Offensive rebound by Paquet. That's no good. Another offensive rebound. Garcia with the steal in the post. It'll be flipped up to Simpson. Back up comes Simpson. Under 7 minutes left to go. Berg, three-pointer from Jersey. That's in there. Jersey Berg knocks down her first triple of the game as the Tetons back up 27 points, 70-43 on the American State Bank scoreboard. Silva now gets it to the high post. Underneath, all alone was Nicholson, who easily puts it up and in for 2. So Tetons fell asleep defensively on that one. 70-45. Berg running the point. She'll get the ball off to Simpson to take over. Works her way up to the top of the perimeter. Long pass over to Murtaugh. Looking for a give and go. Gets it to Simpson underneath. Reverse layup, no good through contact. It'll be Porter pull it down as Porter's going to run into Garcia, who tried to get skinny to slip through, and there's still contact. So that'll be the first personal foul for either team in the quarter. Just the second personal on Garcia as Bolito now set to check in. So Bolito coming into the game for Garcia. Here with 6:16 left to go. Tetons holding on to a 70-45 advantage. Silva over onto the far wing to Phillips. Back to Silva, up on top. High post, it'll go to Nicholson. Back to Phillips for three, and that one is good. Taya Phillips hits the long ball. Back down to a 22-point game. 70-48. Murtaugh across the timeline, beating Paquet, finds Bolito, gets to the high post, pull up, mid-range jumper, off the mark, no good. Tetons have gone cold, and Bolito will run into Silva, looking for the rebound. That'll be a foul on Bolito, and that'll be the second team foul on the Tetons. Giving the ball back to Northwestern. This Northwestern team still with a bunch of fight, and they have their eyes on a massive comeback here in the fourth quarter. So rolling the ball across the timeline already as they want every second they can. Silva there runs through, gets it out to Phillips, looking to drive. Flips it out onto the wing. Phillips back over to Porter. Up to Silva. Long pass back over to Phillips, who goes for another three-pointer. Off the mark, no good. Kunze's going to wrestle a rebound down away from Paquet, but Paquet will knock it out of Kunze's hands. And off her leg, out of bounds. It will stay with the Trappers here with 5:34 left to go. Inbound play coming for the Trappers underneath her own basket. Up on top, it'll go to Phillips. Crosses over on Murtaugh. Bolito now switches off. Up on top to Paquet. Now back to Silva. Silva driving. Underneath pass. Stolen away by Kunze. Kunze's going to get it off to... Try to get it off to Murtaugh, and she's unable to. Get stripped. Here comes Berg on the drive. Berg with a running layup. Jersey Berg, what a drive and a layup. She's up to 16 points. Silva racing up the court. They're going to look to kick it off to Phillips again, who forces up another three-pointer. Air ball, and there's going to be a putback by Nicholson. And that'll be a foul underneath. Foul's going to go against Garcia, as 5 subs are going to come in for the Trappers. At the lines, Nicholson knocks down her first. Has 5 in, 5 off, except for the shooter. Nicholson will stay on the court. Nicholson again for her second, and she'll knock that one down as well, and she'll come out of the game. 72-50. Tetons up by 22. Inbound play goes to Simpson. Simpson being handed up the court by Fuller across the timeline. 5 on the dot. Over to Murtaugh on the far wing. Murtaugh looking to drive. She'll get into the post and looking for a cutting Kunze underneath. It'll go out of bounds and back to the Trappers. Looking to inbound the ball for the Trappers is now Carlson. She'll get it into Ukak, who will push it up, walk it across the timeline to Swan on the far wing. Now to Fuller. Carlson on the low post, working on Kunze. Up on top, good ball movement. Ukak now gets the elbow, up on top, little shimmy the foot. Swan gets away with a walk. Fuller again, high post will go to Ukak, looking post to Carlson, able to push it through to Swan. Swan to the baseline drive, post to post pass underneath to Ukak, who lays it up, no good. Kunze with the board for the Tetons, and they'll take over under 4.5 left. Kunze over to Murtaugh, who will walk it up the court. Tetons backdoor pass to Simpson with the layup up, and in it goes. Simpson 4-2, who just freshly checks into the game for Garcia. That's the first points of the game for Simpson. Working away around now are the Trappers. Up on top it'll go, still looking to swing the ball, do some good work. Down the low post, underneath the Carlson. Drop step, she's going to be double teamed, and she'll be tied up along with Berg, and that'll give the ball back to the Tetons here with 3:52 left. The Tetons will take over, and with that stop, we're going to have a media timeout, final media timeout of the game, with the Tetons up by 24 points, 74-50. We'll be back after this short break.
Legacy. It begins the moment we're born, growing with every step as we journey through life. It lives in the relationships we build along the way and in those we love. At First International Bank and Trust, our legacy is you. At every stage of life, we walk with you, making sure you get to where you're going and protecting your legacy for generations to come. First International Bank and Trust, helping you live first. Member FDIC, Equal Housing Lender.
Red Rock Ford is a proud supporter of Williston State College Teton Athletics and our community. At Red Rock, we encourage you to get behind our athletes, schools, and local community. Let's support our friends and neighbors as we work together to make our city a great place to live and raise our families. And when it comes time for your next vehicle purchase, see us at Red Rock Ford, where a portion of every dollar spent goes right back into the community you know and love. That's Red Rock Ford, your hometown Ford store, proudly supporting Teton Athletics.
Michael, we're back here from Williston. The Tetons, 24-point lead, 74-50. This Travers squad has wins against a few Mondack Conference opponents. They have beat Lake Region State 58-54, Dawson Community College 74-57, Bismarck State College 98-48, as well as Miles Community College 58-47. Tetons have the ball. Under 4 minutes left to go. Simpson pushing it up the court. She'll be picked up by Ukak. Gets it across the timeline. Long pass over to Bolito. Bolito back to Simpson. Just about lost a handle. Back to Bolito on the wing. Looks at drive. Gets underneath, and she's going to be stripped on her way up. It'll go out of bounds. It'll stay with the Tetons with 12 seconds left to go on the shot clock. Substitution coming in now for Williston State. Checking into the game for Allison Coonsey is going to be number 53, Patience Gray, the 6'6" freshman. As there's now 6 players on the court for the Trappers, a late sub. And a little confusion there as checking into the game for Ukak is going to be number 23, Sydney Harris. Harris didn't get the whistle to come in, but they're going to say, hey, play on. 3:43 left to go. Teton setting to take over. Belico flashes free. Up on top to Murtaugh. Murtaugh looking underneath for Gray. Gray, drop step, puts it up too hard. Off the backboard, no good. Swan and the Trappers will take over. They had Fuller underneath. They late pass to Fuller, just avoided, tapping on the timeline. And Bolito's going to tip the ball off the hands of Wright, and it'll go back to Williston State. 3:20 left. Kaloff checking in once again for the Tetons. She'll come in for Berg, whose day will be done with 16 points. Some fantastic plays so far for Jersey. Well, Kaloff coming out. Simpson also coming out of the game with Tia Conradson coming back in. Murtaugh will get the inbound pass from Kaloff. Work her way up the court for Williston State. Murtaugh, the lone starter on the court. Backdoor pass to Bolito. Gets underneath, and she's going to take a shoulder shove from Wright and be called for the travel. So I think the official kind of shaking his head off at Coach Triplett, who's not happy with some of the calls so far today. Long pass now over to Swan. Back up on top to Wright. Swings it over to Carlson for 3. That's in there. Carlson hits another long ball, her second of the game. 74-53. Murtaugh pushing it back up the court for the Tetons. She'll cross over. Looking to backdoor pass to Gray. Couldn't handle the bounce pass. Carlson will get up ahead to Wright. One-on-one with Kalaff, and that one is going to be up and good for Wright, who now has 4 points. Back up the court now, Murtaugh. She'll slow things up this time. Tetons looking to salt this one away. Goes across, gets a double high screen. Looking to turn the corner, and she's going to be fouled on the way up, and that looked like a good strip from Fuller, so maybe a little bit of a makeup call from the last strip down the court. So that'll send Taylor Murtaugh to the stripe for a pair. So still a little shuffling around on both teams as they put players at the scorer's bench. Murtaugh at the stripe for a pair. That one rolls around a couple times and drops in. Checking out of the game is Harris. Coming in for her is Yates. And Murtaugh will sub out after the make or the next stop, whichever comes first, is at the line for her second of 2. That one is going to be good. She'll check out of the game with 2:31 left to go. J.C. DeMontney checks in for the Tetons. Wright works her way up the court. Long pass over to Fuller on the far wing. Quick shot up, no good. Pulled down by Conradson. Conradson pushing the issue. Gets across the timeline. Gets it off to Kaloff. Up on top, will walk her way to the top of the timeline. Bolito looking to cross over on right, behind her back dribble, little floater up and just couldn't finish. Bolito with a fantastic move. Here comes Carlson back up the court, one-on-one with Koloff. She's going to be cut off. Good stop by Angie, back out to right. Right knocks down a three-pointer. That'll make it now 76-58. Devantney up the court, over to Koloff on top of the perimeter. Paying a lot of attention to Gray. Bolito over now to Connerton, will step back, head and shoulder fake, gets it off to Koloff. Looking underneath for Gray. Koloff, pump fake, turnaround jumper in the paint. That one's in and out, no good. Pulled down by Yates. And back come the Trappers, closing in on a minute and a half on the American State Bank scoreboard. Swan on the near wing, back up on top to Wright, who throws another one up. That's no good. Long rebound to DeMontney. She'll cross over, lose the ball, had it poked away, and she'll pick it up. Now it'll be over to Koloff, who will work it across the timeline. Koloff driving, looking to get it over. Connerton from a wing three, off no good. Koloff is going to pick up the foul as she hit into the back of Fuller, trying to pull down the rebound. So Angie will pick up her first personal, fourth team foul on the Tetons here with 1:15 left to go. So first personal on Koloff, and now their substitution for Williston State. Checking out of the game is Lucia Bolito. Erica Christensen checking in for the first time. Right coming up, high post. Swings it over to Swan. Swan for three. That one is going to be in there. Elsie Swan for a three-pointer. Connerton now working up the court. 1 minute left to go. Connerton's going to be hounded, and she's going to have it tipped away from her. It'll stay with the Tetons, and that'll allow another substitution to come in. Now checking into the game is going to be Fixico for the first time. DeMontney over to go to Christensen. Christensen's going to be tied up along with Swan, and that'll keep the ball with Williston State here with 47 seconds left to go. So the Tetons are going to come away with a win. They saw their nearly 30-point lead be chipped away by some late three-pointers. Fixico now on the far wing. Over to go to Christensen. Works her way around. Up on top to Koloff. Head and shoulders fake. Good drive by Koloff, and she's going to wrestle it free. Tries to drop step it. Loose ball on the ground. It's going to be picked up by Fuller. Long pass up. Here comes Wright on the run out. Puts it up and in. Ashlyn Wright now with 9 points. Here come the Tetons. Looking to get it across. They find Connerton. 22 seconds left. Tia will pull it back out. Looking to get it underneath. She finds Koloff on the high post. Koloff drives back out. Good recovery defensively by Fuller to tip the pass intended for Connerton out of bounds. And with the shot clock off, Tetons can hold on to get the last shot of the game. Connerton gets it up on top to Koloff. Will hand it off to DeMontney. Pull it back out. She's being double teamed over to Fixico. Fixico over to Koloff. Connerton in the corner, who will hold on for the final 3 seconds of the game. She'll drive and flip through over to Fixico. Tries to heave it up at the last second, but it'll be too late as the Tetons come away with a 76-63 win. We're going to head down to the scores bench to pick up the stat sheet post-game. When we come back, we'll have the full post-game breakdown here from Williston.
Glad you made time in your busy life to get over here. You need a break.
Glad it's a busy day. The furnace, that furnace got yeah, shut off. Been doing this now a long time. Got this 28 degrees there. All brought plumbing, you can't see it. And I had one of my customers. He